Question number 10. In Agile methodology, which of the following best describes the concept of velocity? Option number A, the amount of work completed per sprint, the rate at which the product owner makes decisions, the number of team members working on the project, the percentage of work completed by the deadline. In Agile methodology, which of the following best describes the concept of velocity? The correct answer is the amount of work completed per sprint. So if I am on the current sprint, if I've completed the sprint, how much work did I complete during the current sprint? That is known as the velocity. And this velocity is used to calculate the amount of work to be scheduled in the subsequent sprint. Let us move to question number 11. In Agile methodology, release planning refers to the amount of work to be completed in the next sprint. Option number B, deciding who will work in which sprint. Option number C, which all sprints will lead to a release. And option number D, deciding on the average velocity. In Agile methodology, release planning refers to option number A, the amount of work to be completed in the next sprint, deciding who will work in which sprint, which all sprints will lead to a release, and deciding on the average velocity. So the correct answer is which all sprints will lead to a release. So here the key thing is at the end of every sprint or iteration, we will be giving a demo of the product increment, but it is not mandatory that we'll make a release of the product to the customer. So a series of sprints or iteration ends up in a release. So in Agile methodology, release planning refers to which all sprints will lead to a release. For example, sprint 1, 2, 3, and after the third sprint, we may make a release to the client. Again, 5, 6, 7, 8, and after the eighth sprint, we may make a release to the client. So here the key point is at the end of every sprint, we are not releasing the product to the client. At the end of every sprint, we are giving a demo of the product or we are reviewing the product increment. But after a series of sprints, we end up making a release to the client. So the planning of this, we call it as release planning. Let us move to the next question, question number 12. What is the purpose of the definition of done in Scrum? It is also known as DOD or the definition of done. To define the scope of the project. Option number B, to ensure that the product meets the required customer features. And option number C, to define when work is completed, when work is considered complete and ready for release. And option number D, to outline the responsibilities of the Scrum Master. So here the correct answer is to define when work is considered complete and ready for release. Here the key thing is everybody in the team should have a common understanding of definition of done. Otherwise, each person may understand it differently. So that will affect the final product. A good definition of done is nobody will work on that particular feature anymore. That means it is ready for release in all aspects. So let us move on to the next question, that is question number 13. Which of the following describes an agile team's approach to change? Option number A, changes are strictly controlled and managed through formal change requests. Option number B, changes are encouraged and embraced, provided they add value to the customer. And option number C, changes are only allowed after the project's completion. And option number D, changes are prohibited during the course of the project. So here the right answer is changes are encouraged and embraced, provided they add value to the customer. Uh, Agile is always useful uh, to develop products or services where the scope evolves or the scope clarity is not good at the beginning, and as the project progresses the scope evolves. So the agile model, it encourages changes provided they add real value to the customer. Then question number 14. In Agile, which of the following best defines the concept of increment? Option number A, a time-boxed event for planning and discussion. Option number B, a working product feature or functionality delivered in a sprint. And option number C, a report of project progress. And option number D, a measure of the project budget remaining. Uh, Here, let us see the correct answer. Here, the correct answer is a working product feature or functionality delivered in a sprint. Which of the following defines the concept of an increment? So, at the end of an iteration, the product is incremented. So, a working product or feature, a working product feature or functionality delivered in a sprint, we call it as a increment. So all agile models are iterative and incremental in nature. So at the end of every iteration, an increment of the product is demonstrated or delivered. Let us move to the next question, question number 15. Which of the following best describes a user story in Agile? Option number A, a technical specification document. Option number B, a detailed list of all features to be delivered. Option number C, a short, simple description of a feature from the end user's perspective. And option number D, a task list for the development team to complete. So option number C is a short, simple description of a feature from the end user's perspective. So typically a user story contains a header, a high-level description of the feature to be developed, the definition of done, and sometimes there can be discussions happening around it. So all those discussions are captured in the form of conversations. So it is a simple document explaining a feature from the user's perspective. So correct answer, a short, simple description of a feature from the end user's perspective. Uh, so thank you very much for watching. We are recording this video as part of our PMP training, students for PMP training. So if you want to get more details, visit pmri.in/PMP training. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.